All right, hello again, everyone. Straight Note Chaser by Thelonious Monk, and I've been listening to the Miles Davis recording. They play the head a few times at the beginning and a whole bunch of times at the end, and then in the middle, it's pretty much just soloing. And man, those saxophone players are just nuts on this record. They're just playing all over the place, and it's not exactly my cup of tea, but there's some good stuff in there. And then, of course, Miles kind of shows him how to play the blues. He really does. His solo is the best. And I just thought I'd point out a few things today, maybe some things you haven't thought about when you're playing the blues, especially this kind of a jazz blues type of thing. So, of course, these rootless voicings are nice to use for the chords. You got F here, and then you can make it like F 7th, flat that 13 there, and then just go chromatically down to a B flat 7, and then back up to the F7. And it seems like a lot of times in this blues they do kind of like an A minor 7 flat 5 to a D altered, then the 2 and the 5. And a good turnaround, easy to do, just jump up to the D altered, just go down chromatically like that. So now I'll play very simple blues lines over this so you can just check out what the left hand's doing. Now, this chord right here, I've been using it as an F, but it actually functions also as A minor 7 flat 5. That's one of the functions of this box voicing. And the box voicings actually have 4 notes in them, but you can reduce them all down to 3. Then again, you might not want to use those. You might just want to go up to A minor 7 flat 5, do a little diminished chord for your D7, and then a G minor. Not just these rootless voicings, but there's the ones up here too that work just as well. All right, some nice rootless voicings there for the blues. Now, you might have noticed that I went to start off on just, F 7th. And then I went to this F altered chord, right? Kind of makes it have a little more tension to get you to the B flat. All right, look at this altered chord. This is a 5 chord. That means it's a dominant chord. What comes before a dominant chord? What can you put in front of a dominant chord? All right, this is F dominant. You could also think of it as B dominant here, because this is where I'm going to go with this. Right? It's a B dominant, unaltered, F dominant, altered. All right. But think about what you could put in front of a B dominant. It's 2, which is the F sharp. So you could do this, say F sharp minor 7 to B flat. And you'll hear this all the time on jazz recordings. You'll never hear this on Freddie King, and I wouldn't want to hear it on Freddie King. And if you really want to learn how to play the blues, listen to Freddie King. Don't listen to these guys. Listen to Freddie King first, or B.B. King, or Albert King, or any of the Kings. All right, but here's how this works. That wasn't a very good line. Let me try that again. That was a little better. But most of the time, you could just play a blues line and just throw that in there, and it kind of will work itself out. I did it again too. You know, I'm have an F sharp dominant going down to the F dominant. So before the F sharp dominant, C sharp minor 7th. And then our turn around. All right, so I'll do some of that again. All right, now, you know, I'm just going to throw you a bunch of stuff here today. How can you make the blues sound a little more modern? And this is like getting ahead of like where Miles and those guys were at in those days. A piano player can do something like this. Right? And then you're going to play F pentatonic or something like that. And you can move this around. Just follow the Mixolydian scale, whatever that is. You know, it's a... Right, just flat the 7th, and then just play 4th chords and honor that scale, even if you get to crazy ones like this. Then you could do it on B flat a little bit too. Is that right? And then, you know, I like to do something like, you know, you can, instead of 2-5, you can, you know, do a 2-5 up there, and then a 2-5 down here. And you can make it more modern, like, you see? So I did a 2-5 A flat, and I put this for A flat and that for D flat. And then I did some pentatonic over it. And then here's the G minor, and then I just went to a standard voicing. Okay, now let me show you some right hand stuff. Now let me show you something that's just really bluesy. Now you know the blues scale. All right. Instead of that E flat, we're going to put a D in there instead. All right, and the note we want to go to is the A flat there. So, all right, because it's the tritone there, but it's just a... No, there's no explaining why this sounds good. It just sounds, you know, edgy. So, you know, jamming on the blues. And you can go. Yeah. So most of the time, you know, stick to the blues scale. But throw that D in once in a while. It's kind of the same idea there. Right. You know, when you're playing the blues, you can't worry too much about if everything's exactly harmonically correct. All right? Like I'm playing this altered chord and I went... right? The note right in there. So that's not really harmonically very sound, but it is in the blues. Let me think what else I can talk about with the blues. Go check out the Freddie King records, listen to like Hideaway or Sidetracked and stuff like that. And, you know, that's the real essence of the blues. And then, you know, as you get good, you want to try to sound like Cannonball, you know. Well, he plays it better than that, but you know. I mean, you know, if you play just that fast, you're going to lose 90% of your audience. So keep your audience in mind. You have the feeling of the blues. You know, I'm a little tired today because I was watching YouTube last night. It's my favorite TV channel. And I was watching a guy who learned some stuff from a guy named Joseph Lester, who was a friend of Art Tatum, and he was showing some 2-finger licks. And you could probably find his videos. I would, you know, make a link to them down below, but I'm just too damn lazy today. Anyway, he was showing some 2-finger runs. And so here it is. All right, see, it's like a D and a C, A flat and an F. And he was doing them so fast, it was like a... like that with 2 fingers. You do it with 2 fingers, because if you do it with 4 fingers or 3 fingers, it doesn't have the same sound. This way it's got a lot of... All right, sorry, I got interrupted by the telephone there. So anyway, Art Tatum's 2-finger runs. Now, of course, you can use that on the F, and it works just as well, even better on the B flat. All right, and there's all kinds of little runs you can do like this, like an A7th would be like that. Anyway, I've just was looking at it last night and haven't hardly had time to practice it. But, you know, I showed you a few of these faster Art Tatum riffs the other day. That little 3-finger type thing. But these really seem pretty cool. And if you go back and listen to the Art Tatum records, I mean, you can hear him doing this stuff. And you can just tell by the sound that this is how he's doing it, because it's just so crispy. And he goes on to show some little grace note type things, that kind of thing. So anyway, that would be fun. All right, folks, that's it. I'll see you soon.